So, Two Journeys was a phenomenal episode of the Vikings, and it's not just because it set up a lot of plot points and a lot of the future events that are going to happen down the line. It's because it took what it did and it made the most of it. We saw three different plots in Two Journeys, which is kind of ironic considering the name, but we saw three plots, and the crux of all those plots had to be Ivar and Ragnar basically being stranded in Britain with their crew, the ragtag crew that Ragnar hired with his money. We got to see Ivar work with Ragnar and them sort of talk out things. And, Ivar is always trying to be like everybody else. That's why he has the brace on. And Ragnar basically threw it off and he said, Ivar, you will become a great king once you realize that you're different than everybody else, and that's not a bad thing. So but I love Ivar. He's probably the best addition to the cast of this show. To be honest, and it's just phenomenal to see him on screen, and you can just see it in his eyes that he likes killing, especially in the scenes where Ragnar and Ivar take out their crew. He just enjoys killing. So it was really cool to see that go down and see them sort of have to take out their crew just so they could go under the radar. And I guess it's up in the air next week because they did finally just show up the town that Egbert lives at, the capital city. So it's in the air what will happen to Ivar and Ragnar, but I think that's good for the show. And the secondary plot was great. Basically, Bjorn and his Mediterranean fleet passed Rollo's castle, and they needed to, get safe passage. And he said he wanted to go raid with them. Of course, his wife didn't agree with that, and she was scolding him. But Rollo says he's a Viking at heart, and so that's what he's got to do. So it was interesting to see him make that decision, especially throwing himself at the mercy of the Vikings. He knows how they are. He used to be a Viking, so that was sort of stupid on his part. But I understand how you have to be, true to who you are. Of course, they threw him over a boat and dragged him by the boat under the water till he almost drowned, and that was a very intense scene and very tense scene. We didn't know if he was going to die, but honestly, I think Rollo, if you're a fan of the show, Rollo deserved it after what he did to Ragnar, so it was nice to see some justice done. And maybe his redemption arc will be great, maybe it won't be, but maybe he'll just die in battle over there, meaninglessly, but hopefully they do something good with that, because I do like Rollo as a character, and I do like how he was at odds with Ragnar, but it'd be nice to see him sort of get back into the fold and get back into my liking, and the viewers' liking. And it was cool to see how he interacted with his old friends and such. But the last plot was very phenomenal. It was Lagertha versus Aslog, basically, as Lagertha launched her full-scale assault on Kattegat, and we got our first real big battle of the season, second half of the season, and it was cool to see. It didn't last long, though, because Lagertha said, why am I killing my own people? We need to stop. But it teased in the trailer for next week that we'll see Lagertha fighting Aslog, so that would be cool to see that fight go down, because honestly, Lagertha's everybody's favorite. Aslog's sort of just there, but it'll be cool to see them duke it out and see who wins next week. Hopefully Lagertha. But this episode of Vikings was phenomenal. It was one of the best Vikings episodes I've seen in a while, and I'm really digging the Ivar Ragnar stuff this season. The other stuff, yeah, it's interesting, but man, Ivar is something else. So I'd have to give this episode an 8.6.